Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking. I'm Colin, and this is my friend Rick. We're here to open a bottle of whiskey and see what's inside. Color, taste, nosing, the whole ball game. Malcolm called out today. Thanks for joining in.
Appreciate it. I always appreciate getting called in.
All right. I know you do. I
always appreciate when Malcolm calls out.
Yeah. And we love it when you do the dishes. All right. I often ask Rick what Mal or you or the guest, what you're hoping for. Ask me what I'm hoping for.
What are you hoping for, Colin? What are you hoping for?
Can you see it?
Old eyes.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, a Glenfarclas.
I'm hoping for a Glenfarclas family cask.
Nice.
Yes.
I haven't had Glenfarclas in a long time.
Yeah. And we've got some 90s releases here too. Any Glenfarclas would make my day. They're super fun, friendly people. We've been there. Check out the episode. But in the meantime, why don't you... Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. We just added to the bar a recent release from Glenfiddich, the Aston Martin Formula One edition, a 16-year-old Glenfiddich. So you've got a lot of 15s, 18s, and 12s from Glenfiddich, but a 16-year-old Glenfiddich. So this is bottle 180 on the shelf for today. All right, go ahead. Bring us there. Hold it for at least 5 seconds.
Yep.
Randy says 297. We're going to be over there somewhere.
Back that way
Let's
somewhere.
see. It could be... I think it's going to be in the snooker room. We're going to find out. See everybody at bottle 297. Yep. Again, one of these days, I'm going to beat you to the bottle. But in the meantime, bottle 297 is up. Now, the guys have let me know, based on the camera angle, you won't be able to see me pull the bottle, but 55, 67, 79, and then the bottom shelf starts at 291, which brings us to bottle 297, which is this Singleton 12-year-old. This is the Singleton of Glendullan. This is a 1 liter bottle, so it makes me think this is a duty-free bottle. This is just a 40%, and I don't want to say just a 40%, but it's just a 40%. Light, fruity, and creamy, and I believe the Singleton is actually related to or relative of Afrosk, but because of the difficulty in pronouncing it based upon the spelling, they went with Singleton. We'll double check me, but in the meantime, we'll double check the contents of this bottle back at the bar with Rick, the Singleton 12.
Watch your head.
I've learned that lesson.
Actually, watch the beam. Not your head.
Right, because the beam don't move. Rick, the Singleton of Glendullan. And Singleton does a few releases, the Glendullan, the Glen Ord, and I'll have to find it. Lightly distilled. This is a Speyside Single Malt Scotch Whisky. Like I said earlier, I believe this to be a duty-free entirely based upon the size of the bottle.
It's a good-sized bottle.
It is. It is. Malcolm would say this reminds him of Old West kind of bottles, like a snake oil salesman kind of a bottle, like a medicine bottle.
So this reminds me of an Old West kind of bottle. Kind of a snake oil salesman bottle.
Malcolm! All right, here we go. Let's see if it's lively.
Oh, good and lively.
That's a nice cork pop. All right, let's get it into the bottle. Or into the glass. Hear that? It's like British music. Hear that tinny backbeat?
It's a little muted. There it is.
Sometimes I feel like I pour like a stormtrooper shoots. But that's okay. All right.
It gets the job done.
All right. Light, fruity, and creamy. Speyside Single Malt Scotch Whisky, 40% ABV. Our master of malts, Keith Law, has personally crafted this 12-year-old single malt, aged predominantly in American oak with a touch of European oak. Fruit creamy. and we'll find out for ourselves. Have you had a Singleton before, Rick?
I have. I don't remember which expression it was. I've had a couple of them.
Singleton does some international releasing, as do they all. And there are 3 labels, the Glendullan, the Glenord, and I can't find it. But there's an American label in general, there's a European label in general, and an Asian market in general. And we actually have them all here. I've been to Japan and picked up the Asian release. So one day we'll open that. I believe we opened the European one here already. We'll see what my memory tells us. 40%. There's a chance we've got coloring added. It's a very light looking whiskey, Rick.
It would surprise me if there was color added. I mean, it is a light.
It would just be about bringing it for stability.
Okay.
So they're not bringing it in terms of like consistency.
Got it.
Right. Yeah. They wouldn't be trying to darken it so much as to be like, oh, we've got this barrel, that barrel, the other barrel. We're trying to create this release. We want it to all look the same. Yeah. I just turned the bottle so everybody could just maybe get an idea of how light it looks. And again, and as a fly fisherman, and you too, by the way, love seeing the salmon jumping. Yes.
If I was to go to Scotland, it would be for a distillery tour with a fly rod in hand.
Can we go with when you go to Scotland?
When I go to Scotland. I will have. Well, I guess I won't have fly rod in hand because they don't like having international rods come in, I believe. I think you rent one there or use one from there.
The rules in Europe about fishing and in the UK in particular go back to land ownership rules, which actually go back to, I believe, the Doomsday Book, where they sort of outlined who owned what. And it's really been the guide for property ownership ever since. And so when you own property in Scotland or England, you actually own the rights if you happen to be on a river. You own the rights for fishing there only. So it's not like here where you buy a fishing license and just go fishing. You actually need permission from the landowner. And so generally speaking, and I've been fly fishing in Scotland, you have to go to an estate, you get the equipment there, and they let you know where you can fish.
Exactly where you can fish, from this marker to this marker.
Right, because they don't have their own permission to go further. Right. It's a last time we were there, we did see a fella fishing on the River Dee, as we were in Balmoral Castle. I can't think of the town. Braemar was another castle nearby. I'll find it at some point. But anyway, he was obviously a Scottish fisherman. He had the tweed all tucked into his boots, the cap, the whole deal. And Kevin, the sound man, and I and Derek, the babysitter, are one of our camera guys here. We were all very jealous because he got to be fishing and we just got to be walking.
And watching.
Watching
fish.
But,
how was his cast?
It was good. It was good. Yeah, he was double.
Two-hand.
Yeah. But the river was flowing really well. We were there midsummer, but it rains in Scotland. And so the water was running. Yeah. All right. What do you got for a color on this Glendullan 12-year-old, likely a duty-free release?
A light amber, maybe?
Yeah, a light amber, medium gold.
Yeah. It's got a little red, little coppery, maybe?
Yeah, I like copper.
Yeah.
I can absolutely wrap my head around copper. Clean copper.
Yeah, very clean.
Like a clean copper penny.
Or a clean copper plate when they're about to do a printing on it, like etching.
Okay, yep.
The copper is very clean when they're doing that.
That makes me think of our friend, and I think your friend too, somewhere in the past, John Tether. An artist friend of mine through high school and then in Keene. He has several works of art hung in this bar.
Okay.
Yeah, so when he becomes incredibly famous and his arts are worth millions, I've got artwork of Tether from his teenage years into his 20s.
The old school.
Yeah, I got some originals. Okay, so we've got clean copper for a color.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, and I'm seeing some hazing on the top of my glass.
Oh, I see it too. Oh, I've got it too.
Okay. Yeah. So we've seen that before.
Yeah.
But I thought we saw it with higher ABVs.
High ABV.
And so this being just a 40.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really not pulling legs.
No, I wonder if it could be something to do with the placement in the bar and the temperature of the bottle. If, floor to ceiling is going to be different.
This was a lower bottle.
So maybe cooler.
Yeah, it's interesting. The glasses are all very stable on shelves that breathe, meaning it's not a flat bottom shelf. They all have grooves in them, so the glasses breathe. They're all stored upside down. But what I like about my hazing is you can really see like where the whiskey moved.
Yeah.
Right up to the top.
Yeah.
You've done a little bit more. I just did the one tumble, and it really just shows how far up it went. No legs. But not terribly surprising in a lower ABV. All right, shall we floral, fragrant.
Yeah, I agree with that. It smells more ABV than it is to me.
There's a little burn in the nose.
Yeah. I don't usually get that with a 40.
And I don't want to steal from the label, but obviously we've already said it. There is a layer of cream on the nose here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, has it happened? It has started to happen. Can you see the legs starting?
Yeah.
Look around right around in here.
Yeah,
on this
I
one.
see yours.
Yeah, they've really just begun. Yeah, all around too. So they hung, and again, which is interesting because that's often a hallmark of a higher ABV, these legs taking longer to develop. But these legs took a while to develop, but they're definitely there. So we've got this creamy, light, floral, fragrant, kind of like it's a Speyside.
Kind of like it's a space. Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's taste this Speyside and see if it tastes light, creamy, floral, and fragrant.
Definitely light.
Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of, there's some real fruit in there.
Yeah.
But it's got a little, I don't know if for you too, it's got a little bit of spice on the top of my throat, back of my mouth.
Almost a peppery spice.
Mm-hmm. I can go there.
Yep.
It is really fruity on the front side.
So as soon as I put it in my mouth, all I thought was Timothy.
Explain that.
So Timothy is
like the grass.
like the grass.
Yeah.
Right? And so we've had horses for a while.
Yeah.
A long while. Yeah. And sometimes we get Timothy.
Yep.
And you take a straw and you go old school Farmer Joe. And you chew on it, and for some reason I just triggered right back to that. And it's not like there's a grassy flavor to this, but there was something, maybe a terpene, maybe a
right. But that freshness of it, because when you chew the hay, right, it does generate in your mouth.
Yes,
right, absolutely, I can see that. As always, we're not about critique, right? So never hear it that way. Not a challenging whiskey.
No,
right?
Pleasant.
Right, not asking you to sort of pick out 14 different notes and 5 different layers, right? This is in many ways very much a classic Speyside, right? Which traditionally was that light, floral, and fragrant whiskey, right? In opposition to those malty highlands, those very grassy lowlands, those very peaty islas, right? And so those are some of the original profiles of the regions, right? And so this is really falling into that classic Speyside.
Yeah, classic.
Especially that it's just spending time in a mostly American but some European oak, right? So we're not talking about wine influences, sherry influences.
It's whiskey.
Right. And is there possibly bourbon influence here? Sure, right? Because a lot of the casks they get from America were previously bourbon casks. And if they weren't bourbon casks, I would expect virgin cask to be listed here. So when they talk about American oak, oftentimes they're talking about American bourbon cask, right? But not picking up on those features that, however, may be the factor leading to that slightly spicy warm in the top of the throat, back of the mouth. Maybe a little touch of vanilla, right? Which could be that vanilla cream.
Right. There it is. It's a vanilla cream, not just vanilla.
Yeah.
It's that the cream is carrying the vanilla.
Yes, I can agree with that. All right. This is a middle of the day drink.
Yeah.
You could have this with lunch for sure, right? I'm not thinking about on a cool winter night by the fire. I'm not thinking this whiskey. I'm thinking middle of the day with lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some smoked fish.
So speaking of middle of the day with lunch, what would you do with a whiskey like this, Rick?
I'm going to go right for that peppered salmon, the smoked salmon, to see if I can pair that with the spicy that we got in there.
Mm-hmm. See if I can do this for you. You've sold me.
Okay.
I'm going to do it too. And the salmon on the bottle. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's so creamy. It's so good.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a nice blend. Oh, the oil. Mm-hmm. The oil in the fish really adds to the creaminess of the.
Right. And what works for me too is this idea that we were just talking about, which is lunch. Right? This is a cold smoked salmon, right, that you might have with a salad, right? So would you like a little more?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just empty for the toast, not on purpose. It just works really well. And I like that you brought up the oil in the fish, because a lot of flavors in whiskey are related to the oils from the distillation process, which is why don't filter your whiskey through coffee filters, right? Lessons learned, it traps the oils, right? If you've got a cork failure, use a very, a very tight mesh metal.
A brewer's funnel.
Right, stainless. Yeah, exactly. And that will allow the oils to pass through and not get trapped. That's a good match. I'm still lingering on the pepper in my mouth.
Nice.
Right, good lunch whiskey. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's see what the crew has for us, Rick. I can agree with this. And may the roof above us never fall in, and may we friends gathered below never fall out.
Never fall out, Colin.
Never fall out, Rick. This Singleton, Keith Law, I believe was his name, has put together a wonderful midday lunch whiskey. Cold smoked salmon was the way to go. What do you got?
It's just a nice, clean, classic whiskey.
Yep.
And like I said, a day drink.
A Speyside.
A Speyside.